Tonight on NewsWatch, disturbing new details on the life of Jared Loughner, his run-ins with police and college professors. Were the warning signs ignored?
Plus, consoler-in-chief. President Obama takes the stage in Arizona calling for national unity, his challenge for civil discourse. And Tiger Mask, the real-life superhero who's in the business of saving orphans. All this and more tonight on NewsWatch. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords' recovery is being called tonight a miracle. Good evening, I'm Lee Webb.
And I'm Wendy Griffith. Doctors now say they're doing physical therapy with her and she's using all 4 limbs. They say the fact she's now opening her eyes is a major milestone.
It implies that not just those parts of the brain that process commands are there, but the parts of the brain that let us awake from sleeping, our arousal center, those are starting to work spontaneously. She's starting to become aware of her surroundings.
Her progress is so amazing, even the doctors are now using the word miracle. As Dr. Lamole put it today, quote, "We're wise to acknowledge miracles."
And now to the man accused of shooting Giffords, Jared Loughner. We're hearing more from those who were close to him, getting new insight into what caused his spiraling descent into darkness. John Waggy brings us the latest in tonight's top story.
Authorities are working hard to get a profile of the man who caused chaos in Arizona and around the nation.
I think he actually expected to get shot that day.
Ashley Figueroa dated Loughner in high school. She told Tucson station KGUN that he was nice and had a big heart, but
he had a temper problem. He used to scare me sometimes, and that's kind of the reason I left him, because he kind of made me feel uncomfortable at times. Like, he'd get really mad and he would clench his fist really tight and kind of almost have a little tantrum and just kind of flail his arms and kind of walk off.
Figueroa says when she saw Loughner 3 or 4 months ago, he had changed from high school.
I don't know what happened. I really don't, because that's not the person that I knew. I knew he had problems, but I didn't know that it would be something like this.
And when she found out the shooter last Saturday was Loughner?
Oh my God. That's all I could really say, and it was just hard for me to find that somebody that I had. It made me feel weird, because it made me think that what kind of person am I if I fell for somebody who had those capabilities and those potentials.
51 pages of released police reports show Loughner became more erratic from February of last year in community college, when in a poem about abortion he wrote, "Why don't we just strap bombs to babies?" After 5 incidents with campus police, he was expelled from college in September.
The unfortunate reality is that you've got this sea of things that come together. We really have a hard time predicting, even though we know warning signs of people in trouble, we're not always sure who's going to pull a trigger and who's not going to pull a trigger.
As the families of the victims try to move on with their lives and Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords begins her physical therapy, Jared Loughner is said to be sitting in his prison cell, smiling. John Waggy, CBN News.
President Obama says Americans should honor those who were killed in Arizona and not point fingers. The president's speech came after days of liberal attacks on conservatives for creating a political climate that led to the shootings. But now the evidence shows that wasn't the case. Here's Jennifer Wishon.
At times, the crowd of 14,000 was moved to tears of sorrow, and at other times, tears of joy, as President Obama remembered each of the 6 people killed and voiced America's hope for those injured. After a visit to the hospital, the president shared amazing news for Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, who's recovering from a gunshot wound to the head.
A few minutes after we left her room and some of her colleagues from Congress were in the room, Gabby opened her eyes for the first time.
Mr. Obama recognized the Congresswoman's 20-year-old intern, Daniel Hernandez, who helped control her bleeding, along with the men and women who tackled the gunman and grabbed his ammunition as he tried to reload. The president told the crowd there's no way to know what triggered the shooting rampage, and in debates stemming from the tragedy, he encouraged lawmakers and Americans to discuss ideas and refrain from angry, petty politics.
It's important for us to pause for a moment and make sure that we're talking with each other in a way that heals, not in a way that wounds.
His message comes after liberals have criticized conservatives for creating a negative political climate that helped lead to the shootings. Liberals criticized Sarah Palin for using crosshairs to depict targeted Democratic districts last year, including Congresswoman Giffords. But conservatives responded that Democrats have used similar symbolism in their election strategy. Palin has also come under fire for accusing the media of blood libel, a phrase from the 12th century that some Jews feel incites anti-Semitism. But others say it's now used in a broader context, and the Conservative National Review has compiled a list of times it's been used by members of the media. But a former friend of Jared Loughner tells Good Morning America, politics and talk radio probably had nothing to do with the shootings.
He did not watch TV, he disliked the news, he didn't listen to political radio, he didn't take sides, he wasn't on the left, he wasn't on the right.
A CBS News poll shows most Americans, 57%, do not believe political tone had anything to do with the shootings. The president encourages Americans to rise above politics during this tragic time.
We may not be able to stop all evil in the world, but I know that how we treat one another, that's entirely up to us. And I believe that for all our imperfections, we are full of decency and goodness, and that the forces that divide us are not as strong as those that unite us.
9-year-old Christina Taylor Greene, who was killed Saturday, often told her mom, "We are so blessed." The president encouraged America to live up to her expectations by making the nation as good as the young girl imagined it. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
For more on this story, we're joined now by Seton Motley. He is the president of an organization called Less Government. Seton, some analysts were saying this speech was an opportunity for the president to be a healing agent for our country. I was kind of curious as to who he was directing his speech to. Was it to MSNBC and the Democrats and liberals who started this debate to begin with?
Yeah, look, if he really wanted it to stop, he would have made this statement on Monday, Sunday even. The shooting was on Saturday. The speech wasn't until Wednesday night. He had plenty of time to put a stop to this because the vast majority of it, of course, was coming from his party after the shooting. So I think what we're witnessing here is the dual sides of the Obama administration. He's going to, for public consumption, be Mr. Nonpartisan, Mr. Healer, all of that. And this was a perfect opportunity for him to do that publicly while privately moving his agenda forward via regulation and stuff like that. And I think if he really meant that he wanted the Democrats to stop using this for political advantage, he would have said something well before Wednesday evening.
Yeah, what do you make of his call for more civility in public discourse?
Well, he's been pretty uncivil himself, although he reins it in. He's certainly got a lot of attack dogs in his party that we witnessed over the last 3 or 4 or 5 days. I'm not sure. Again, I think if he was very sincere about wanting this to stop after the shooting, he would have said it long before waiting till Wednesday night to say it.
How did the speech, Seton, compare to presidents who addressed the nation after tragic events like Bill Clinton after the Oklahoma City bombing?
Well, you know, Bill Clinton's getting kind of a much better reputation for that speech than he deserves. If you'll recall, he blamed talk radio in part for the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995. You know, we conservatives like to always harken back to Reagan, but I think that short little speech that he gave after the space shuttle tragedy, we slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. That little short speech from the Oval Office, I think, was tasteful. I think there was obviously no partisanship involved. And I think that's who we should emulate. I don't think we should emulate what Bill Clinton did in '95, and I don't think we should emulate what happened with the Paul Wellstone memorial service in 2002. Barack Obama said the right things last night. I just think he should have said them earlier.
Seton Motley with Less Government. Seton, thanks for being with us.
Congratulations to Auburn.
Oh, thank you.
A gay activist group is asking CNN not to book guests who are opposed to homosexuality. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, or GLAAD as they're known, has launched that petition. GLAAD claims conservative groups have nothing to offer but hurtful, dangerous, and false notions. The petition tells CNN, quote, if you were running a story about agriculture, would you invite a guest who believes farming is a sin? Of course not.
GLAAD says CNN should only bring on what it calls real experts. One of the groups GLAAD wants to ban from CNN is the Family Research Council. We spoke with FRC's Peter Sprigg for his reaction.
And this is really a shocking attack upon freedom of speech and democracy. Attack upon our political system in which we have lively, vigorous, and respectful debate about public policy issues that are in dispute and that have not been settled yet. And but unfortunately, it reflects, I think, a certain measure of frustration on the part of the homosexual activists that they have not been able to win some of their goals through the democratic process, particularly the legalization of same-sex marriage, which has been rejected in 32 states.
Sprigg says the Family Research Council does not hate homosexuals and is only motivated by loving concern for their well-being. You can see much more of his response at cbnnews.com.
Coming up, trouble in Lebanon, a government in chaos, and the implications for the rest of the Middle East.
Anthony Sullivan here for ShaveMate. All-in-one razors, Titan for men, Diva for women. Simplify your shaving, simplify your life. ShaveMate razors combine 6 premium blades and thick, rich, real shaving cream right inside the handle. So you'll never have to deal with the mess of cans of shaving cream again. ShaveMate is the perfect shaving solution for home, the gym, a business trip, or vacation.
It's everything in this one little package. It's perfect.
You get a great shave every time. I think it's going to change the way everybody shaves.
Order right now, and I won't just double the value, I'll triple it, absolutely free. We'll even include our convenient shower hook. You get a total of 3 ShaveMates in your choice of Titan or Diva, and the shower hook, all for only $9.99. Here's how to order.
Order now. Call 1-800-655-8514 or go to ShaveMate.com. That's 1-800-655-8514 or go to ShaveMate.com. Don't just cash in those old coins. You may have valuable rare collectible coins and not even know it.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher, numismatist and TV coin expert for over 20 years. Introducing the Art of Collecting Coins DVD set. The DVD set that shares the secrets of coin collecting and investment and shows you how the pros really make money.
The Art of Collecting Coins DVD features 4 of the most knowledgeable coin experts in the world, and they tell you the secrets only the pros know on how to make money collecting and investing in rare coins. The Art of Collecting Coins DVD set includes over 2.5 hours of detailed information, history, and recommendations for using coin collecting as a stabilizing addition to your financial portfolio. Take the opportunity now by ordering the DVD set, The Art of Collecting Coins.
Now you can learn the value of collecting coins and how to do it right.
Now get The Art of Collecting Coins DVD set absolutely free. But that's not all. We will also include How to Make Money Collecting Coins absolutely free. To get your free DVD, The Art of Collecting Coins, and bonus DVD, How to Make Money Collecting Coins, call 1-888-559-6777 or visit CoinCollectorDVD.com.
In Brazil today, neighbors are scrambling to reach those still trapped by yesterday's mudslides. As you can see here, walls of earth and water swept away homes in the mountains north of Rio de Janeiro. At least 350 people have been killed. At least 50 others are still missing. Rescuers are having a difficult time reaching the area. It received 10 inches of rain in less than 24 hours.
Brisbane, Australia's 3rd largest city, is being compared to a war zone. Today, the city's river is near record highs. Throughout Australia, more than 3,500 people have been evacuated and nearly 20,000 homes are completely underwater. The death toll is at 15, but that number is on the rise as rescuers continue to recover more bodies. Forecasters warn there could be more severe flooding. The country has 2 months left in its wet season.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has a strong warning to Arab leaders. Reform or else. Clinton says the Arab states will face growing unrest and extremism unless they adopt real economic and political reform. She says Arab countries have to improve human rights for women and minorities and improve business climates and end corruption. Or she says young people will increasingly turn to radicalism and violence. President Obama told Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri that the U.S. will stand by Lebanon in the wake of Hezbollah and its allies pulling out of his government.
Some worry the government could collapse, and that could have major repercussions in the Middle East. Chris Mitchell has that story from Jerusalem.
Hezbollah's move appears designed to force Prime Minister Hariri to stop a United Nations tribunal investigating the murder of his father, former Prime Minister Rafiq Hariri, in 2005. Waleed Faris is a Lebanese expert with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.
And if that government goes down, there will be nobody in Lebanon who would be listening to what the International Tribunal for the Hariri assassination will have to say, and that's exactly what Hezbollah wants.
Many suspect the tribunal will indict Hezbollah officials for the 2005 assassination of Rafiq Hariri, and that could lead to an international showdown.
If the Special Tribunal for Lebanon would indict members of Hezbollah or even their allies, this would mean that the international community would have the obligation to ask the Lebanese government, first of all, to make those arrests and to implement the resolutions. And if the Lebanese government cannot do it, then it will be the obligation of the Security Council of the United Nations to go to Chapter 7, that is, to equip a multinational force and to perform those arrests. That is in theory.
That puts Hariri on a collision course with Hezbollah and Iran, Hezbollah's biggest supporter. Faris says Hezbollah's move to pull out of the Lebanese government was likely scripted with the backing of Iran. It knows Lebanon's political crisis will advance its agenda and reverberate throughout the Middle East.
Let's keep in mind that Iran is moving in a variety of places. They've returned Assad to Iraq. They are now supporting a guerrilla in northern Yemen, and now they are moving Hezbollah to take over Lebanon. Hezbollah has thousands and thousands of missiles, and one of the options that Hezbollah could have is to trigger another war with Israel.
Israel will watch carefully what impact this move will have, especially on its northern border with Lebanon, where in 2006 it fought the longest war in its history with Hezbollah. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Up next, a mysterious superhero gives orphans across Japan a reason to smile.
The doctor came in. I was still waking up from anesthesia. He leaned over my bed and he said, "Laura, you have cancer." And he walked out of the room. The first thought is, what's going to happen to my children?
It's pretty rare for a person as young as me to get Hodgkin's disease. You would think, am I going to be here next year? Am I going to be able to spend more time with my family? And that was really hard.
The doctor says I would like to have his wife, his pastor, and his two best friends present. Then you know you're about to receive really bad news. There was very little hope given to us.
I just wanted this cancer out of me. I wanted to take care of it and move on.
We saw an ad on TV for Cancer Treatment Centers of America. And when I called them, I was very surprised that they were so quick to help us.
The second that we walked through the door, I knew that was the place that I wanted to be. If it wasn't for their kindness and giving, it would be unbearable to be able to go through something like that. And I honestly don't know how people who don't get that are able to handle it.
We were looking for medical care that would help us fight cancer, not manage it, but to actually fight it and beat it. And that's what we found.
Most people thought that that was a death sentence. I knew that I wanted to fight this. I knew I wasn't going to let that happen to me.
If you're a winner and you're a fighter and you're strong, you're going to stay that way. Your mental makeup, your attitude that you've taken your whole life with you, you're going to keep that attitude.
I said, let's just do it, and let me go on with my life.
Call now and we'll send you this free DVD that shows you how the most compassionate group of people anywhere puts you at the center of everything we do. Advanced medical treatment combined with unique supportive therapies give you treatment options you may not even know exist.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is the way of the future. Patients are now taking control of their own healthcare destiny.
I truly wondered when he had cancer if I would ever get him back. Thanks to Cancer Treatment Centers of America, I have my husband back.
Illinois has raised taxes dramatically to try to bring down its state budget deficit. The state income tax rate is going up by 2/3 from 3% to 5%, and corporate tax rates will go up from 4% to Both increases will last 4 years. Democrats voted in the increase after the election, but before the new state legislature took office, no Republicans voted for it. Neighboring states are happy because they expect businesses to leave Illinois and move to their states.
Banks repossessed 1 million homes in 2010, the worst year since the mortgage crisis began 4 years ago. And analysts are saying 2011 will be even worse. Some expect it will mark the bottom, though, of the real estate collapse. 1 in 45 households got a foreclosure filing last year.
New lunch guidelines are on the menu for schools across the country. The U.S. Department of Agriculture wants to stop childhood obesity by incorporating more whole grains and less sugars and saturated fats in children's diets. The new standards would require schools to serve both fruits and vegetables daily, cut sodium by more than half, and allow only a cup a week of starchy veggies like French fries. This is the first major nutritional overhaul of school meals in 15 years.
One of the worst things about being bullied is how often the victim feels totally alone.
Now, kids in Greenfield, Indiana, are doing something about that, creating clubs to back the victims and form a united front against bullies. Here's Lori Johnson.
Bullying seems to be at epidemic levels these days.
Well, at our school, there's a lot of kids that get picked on a lot, and I mean, it's not fair. I don't like to see it happen.
Stephanie and other students at Greenfield Junior High have created the Sticks and Stones Club to show they've had it with any bullying in their school, whether it's physical torment or cruel words.
That's happened to me too, so I just thought that if we started it, then maybe some kids would feel like they're not by themselves and maybe we can make a difference.
Now older students at Greenfield High School want to get involved too, forming their own Sticks and Stones Club.
We're trying to change more of the fact, like somebody's mental thought that just because someone's different doesn't mean you can put them down or doesn't mean that you can say something bad about them.
I hope everyone's self-esteem goes up that's bullied and that they can stand up for themselves.
It's often said bullies are just cowards being cruel to hide their own fear. Now in Greenfield, these anti-bullying clubs may really give them something to fear. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
The social networking site Facebook is trying its hand at crime solving. Facebook users can now help find lost children through the new Amber Alert notification system. Users can fan their state's Amber Alert page and receive alerts on their news feed when children are reported missing. The new program is a joint effort between Facebook and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
The holidays are over, but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at several Japanese orphanages. Gifts are arriving for needy children, but the donor is anonymous. Ephraim Graham shows us why the Secret Santa is being called a superhero.
From backpacks to envelopes of money to green onions and bags of rice, gifts are arriving at more than 100 child welfare centers across Japan. But it's a mystery exactly who's sending them. The sender signed simply Natodate, the name of a superhero in the 1960s Japanese comic Tiger Mask. It features an orphan who grows up to be a popular wrestler in the United States known as Tiger Mask. He then gives much-needed gifts to his old orphanage. This welfare center director says he got the first surprise Christmas Day, and the news of a real-life superhero has sparked a national gift-giving movement. This center received a printer. More than 3 dozen facilities have reported receiving gifts in just 1 week. And this store manager found $1,200 with a note saying, "There are tiger masks across Japan. Please use this for our promising children." The person behind the mask isn't coming forward yet, but there have been sightings. This store owner says an older man with a scarf covering his face recently bought a half-dozen backpacks for an orphanage, and he's pretty sure it was Tiger Mask. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
Up next, a major milestone as Gabrielle Giffords opens her eyes. The first-hand accounts of her miraculous recovery.
Finding video on CBN.com just got easier. We've taken all our video, the 700 Club, news, testimonies, teachings, plus our 24/7 channels, and put them in one convenient location. CBN TV. Watch what you want, when you want. It's all simple to find, and now easier than ever to email a story to a friend. CBN TV on CBN.com.
The doctor came in. I was still waking up from anesthesia. He leaned over my bed and he said, "Laura, you have cancer." And he walked out of the room. The first thought is, what's going to happen to my children?
It's pretty rare for a person as young as me to get Hodgkin's disease. Oh, you would think, am I going to be here next year? Am I going to be able to spend more time with my family? And that was really hard.
The doctor says I would like to have his wife, his pastor, and his two best friends present. Then you know you're about to receive really bad news. There was very little hope given to us.
I just wanted this cancer out of me. I wanted to take care of it and move on.
We saw an ad on TV for Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and when I called them, I was very surprised that they were so quick to help us.
The second that we walked through the door, I knew that was the place that I wanted to be. If it wasn't for their kindness and giving, it would be unbearable to be able to go through something like that. And I honestly don't know how people who don't get that are able to handle it.
We were looking for medical care that would help us fight cancer, not manage it, but to actually fight it and beat it. And that's what we found.
Most people thought that that was a death sentence. I knew that I wanted to fight this. I knew I wasn't going to let that happen to me.
If you're a winner and you're a fighter and you're strong, you're going to stay that way. Your mental makeup, your attitude that you've taken your whole life with you, you're going to keep that attitude.
I said, let's just do it, and let me go on with my life.
Call now and we'll send you this free DVD that shows you how the most compassionate group of people anywhere puts you at the center of everything we do. Advanced medical treatment combined with unique supportive therapies give you treatment options you may not even know exist.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is the way of the future. Patients are now taking control of their own healthcare destiny.
I truly wondered when he had cancer if I would ever get him back. Thanks to Cancer Treatment Centers of America, I have my husband back.
It was truly an exciting moment last night when President Obama announced that Representative Gabby Giffords had opened her eyes for the very first time since being shot.
Yes, two lawmakers on Good Morning America talked about sharing that moment with Gabby and her husband.
She just started to open her eyes, just a slit, and nobody could believe it. I mean, we were stunned.
Mark was urging her, can you see me? Can you see me? And she literally pulled her whole arm up as a thumbs up with her arm. It was amazing.
You could see every ounce of determination in her face trying to get her eyes open, and she did.
To us, it was just an instant that showed her strength, her courage, her indomitable spirit. Everything that we love about Gabby was all there at that moment.
One of the doctors literally just said, wow, this is incredible progress.
We know that just as Mark said to us, earlier in the week, that she will be up and walking in a few weeks. It's going to be something that we're all going to be part of.
Wow. Doctors say the next milestone will be to remove her breathing tube, and I understand she is breathing pretty well,
yeah.
and it really is a miracle.
It really is.
They
it's
can't
amazing.
explain it,
Yeah.
Well, we wish her well, and our prayers are with her and her family. And that's all for this edition of NewsWatch.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll join us next time.
Good night.